Welcome back, Raptor fans all over the world. I'm your host, Arvind Lingam. We're back on the Raptors Wrap-Up. The Raptors just signed Greg Monroe to a 1-year, $2.2 million for the veterans minimum, filling in the spot that Lucas Nogueira once filled in for the Raptors last year. And it doesn't look like the Raptors are going to bring back Lucas Nogueira. Because, man, he struggled in the playoffs last year, and maybe had that one good spurt in that Washington series to spark the bench. But in that Cleveland series, in that small little gap that he came in game 4, right before halftime, instantly mistake after mistake after mistake, and the Cavs just went on a 10-0 run and pretty much put that game out of hand by halftime, and the morale was done. Whether you can blame Dwayne Casey for not playing him the entire series and just dropping him in, or just blaming Nogueira for his lack of focus and just lack of just basketball IQ. The ability to not rebound, not read the pick and roll, not be able to switch properly. Man, just got burned in that game 4. And then that was it. The sweep was on. But man, I believe signing Greg Monroe was a good, solid, and safe move, because Raptors needed somebody after Jakob Poeltl was traded away in that DeRozan trade. So we lost one of our young big men who was traditionally our better rebounders, because Serge Ibaka, if you guys didn't know, he averaged 6.3 rebounds last year. 6 rebounds for your starting power forward, making $20 million. Man, Serge Ibaka rebounds like a guard, but gets paid like a superstar. The man is making $20 million plus. So Greg Monroe, who signed for $2 million, is a better rebounder than him. He might see more minutes than people expect if Serge Ibaka keeps struggling with his rebounding. But it looks like the Raptors will go with a smaller lineup. So you can see Serge Ibaka come off the bench as the backup 5 for JV. But Greg Monroe had a lot of good games against the Raptors, especially against JV, who are both traditional big men, and Greg Monroe loves to beat it in the freaking post. So he was loving it. He's efficient in the post, has a little bit of a mid-range game, can pass out of the mid-post, so that could be helpful as well. The only thing he's lacking is the three-point shot and any defense whatsoever. The man is like a pylon. There's a reason why the Boston Celtics did not re-sign him. Aaron Baines, Daniel Theis, Al Horford, Marcus Morris are all better than him on the defensive end. And the Celtics are all about defense, so Greg Monroe was pretty much out of there and pretty much out of the rotation for a while. There's only some small spurts that Brad Stevens used him for, where he was efficient, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't going to stay after that year. The Raptors could use him in a couple things, especially rebounding. His sound feet, he's a real 7-footer, so he could really get you some rebounds. So the Raptors could use him there. But honestly, I don't see this guy playing more than 5 to 10 minutes, if any, during the season. So it'll be interesting to see how Nick Nurse incorporates Greg Monroe into the lineup. But honestly, with all the contracts that we have with Lowry, JV, Ibaka, and now Kawhi's contracts, you could see why a $2.2 million contract for a solid 28-year-old Greg Monroe. Don't get me wrong, he's not old. He's a veteran, but 28 years old is pretty much still young in this game. So it'll be interesting to see how Greg Monroe with his veteran leadership could help the likes of Kawhi Leonard and the young guns on the bench. So the bench mob will benefit from Greg Monroe's presence for sure, especially boxing out. He was a good defensive rebounder. Now the thing is, the NBA game is now about pace and space. So Greg Monroe, unable to defend anybody and unable to shoot the 3, really won't see tons of minutes against teams like the Warriors, the Rockets, or even the modern day Lakers, because With LeBron James, you're going to expect a bunch of 3-point shooters out there, whether it's Lance Stevenson hitting some threes or Ingram, Kuzma. You never know. It's all about hitting threes. So in that situation, you wouldn't see Greg Monroe as much. But honestly, just his veteran leadership and his cheap contract and his ability to rebound the basketball and score in the post is exactly what the Raptors are bringing him in for. At a price like $2.2 million, can't really go wrong. And good luck to Nick Nurse and them trying to figure out how to utilize Monroe, Ibaka, Siakam, and JV, the 4 bigs. But I don't expect more than 1 big on the lineup at a time. Maybe Siakam and Ibaka together, max. Those two together. I don't really see Ibaka and JV playing together anymore, because from last year you knew it wasn't working. It just seemed odd, them playing together. It didn't work. They just kind of overlapped their games together, and just one couldn't decide if they wanted to be on the outside and the other one couldn't decide if they wanted to be on the inside. And on the rebounding end, Ibaka definitely has to improve. Maybe he improves playing the 5, but we'll see. Other than that, the Raptors are making another solid move. This offseason has been busy. There's talks of still some trades coming up because, Masai Ujiri never stops working. So we'll see what happens. On to the next one, Raptor fans. I'm Erwin Lingam signing off from the Raptors Wrap Up Report. Peace.